Queen's dead.
Welcome to the Realm of Fire, where I, Brendan, he, him, and my friend Rob, he, him, drop bombs and braggadocio about Games Workshop games. Content warning. This show is grown men dropping heavy-handed takes about toy soldiers. It's not to be taken too seriously. Also, strong language warnings apply.
Right, we can start now. I knew that would get you.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It finally happened.
It finally happened.
Dude, look, man, it's so funny because, like, my ultimate pessimism about the Queen and stuff is now being reflected by, like, the chuds that are part of QAnon and stuff, and they're like, she's been dead for months. She's a lizard.
Yeah.
She's been a clone for years. And I'm like, how am I on the same page as you guys? I hate you guys.
Everyone knows that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to reverse my point and be like, no, she probably was real. I don't want to be like, I don't want to, because it was a deeply held conviction that she was dead, because it seems so obvious.
Do you know when she died? She actually died the same year Jim Henson died, and what happened was he's not dead. He was paid to full time operate the Queen. Wow, yeah, it's why you never saw Jim Henson and the Queen in the same place.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, it's like a fact. Dude. That's like a fact. If you watch QI with Stephen Fry or something, he'll be like, yeah, that's a fact.
Dude, this is like knowledge bombs coming to the listeners of Realm of Fire. I don't know if the world's ready for this, but I mean, all I have to say is checks out.
Yeah. Checks out. You can't not disagree. So
once the scales have been lifted from your eyes, this person who was obviously a puppet and looked very much like many Jim Henson creations.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You never saw her eat. And even if you look at the fucking Cookie Monster, he never look closely back and to the left. He doesn't actually eat. The cookies just fall out.
They don't go down the cookie throat. They just scatter.
It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. Once you take off your sheeple mask, you'll see that, in fact, the Queen and Philip, particularly Philip, were just puppets. That's why you never saw the lower half of them. You never saw the lower half of them.
This is why the royal zoo that I was proposing a few episodes back would never work, because you'd see the strings.
Yeah.
And there would be these holes in the ceiling of the palace where the strings came down.
Well, that's why
marionette.
Because it adds on to the flat Earth, doesn't it? That you can't have a marionette on a round Earth. It's got to be it's a stage. The world is a stage. It's what Shakespeare said. He was leaving us Da Vinci Code clues, from the past. If you look closely enough at anything and interpret it how you want to interpret it, ignore all logic and facts, you'll see that there are clues left throughout history, and the world as a stage is flat Earth, and the stage, because they are Punch and Judy, they are, blah, 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 blah. Right. What do you think of it so far? Rubbish, like that, Yeah, it all adds up.
It all adds up.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. If you think about it, it all adds up.
Oh, for sure. But I try not to spend any time thinking lately, because it's too painful. It feels like somebody jamming like an ice pick into your eye. And you're like, no, stop, just pull it out, just surrender to the sweet oblivion.
Yeah.
And then I go to the Games Workshop page and I refresh the community page so that I can see some toys.
But no, even they put a banner, and I am upset. We talked about this very briefly. That they put the class. Everyone's had to put it up. The problem is they had to put it up, because if they didn't put it up, you'd get Games Workshop hate the Queen and all British things. Let's boycott, because you have those absolute, you always get them. You guys are so into it. I can't even hate on you guys though, because because you say that, but
I still get it. It's not like this morning I woke up, I looked on my Apple News or whatever, and it's like, the Queen's coffin is proceeding to Edinburgh, and there's a picture of it.
Dumb.
Like, I really don't care what's going on.
So fucking stupid.
Like,
but every country has that kind of thing. It's like if you guys don't say anything on 4th of July, it's like you're taken out and shot or something, as far as I can work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're just taken out and shot anyway. What I was going to say, but I'm upset the Games Workshop. I'm not upset that they did it. It's purely everyone's got to lip service it. If you're a multinational company or a national company, I'm just upset they didn't write "Only in death does duty end." Like you've got the axiom. That's like the most famous 40k axiom. Right. You literally that. And picture Rogel Dawn.
And like remember, I think after 9/11 there were a bunch of like comic book like pictures of like Superman like crying
with the flag and shit.
He's like holding a torn up flag as a hanky to his like to his
eyeballs. Why didn't you stop it, dickhead? You can stop planes. That's like you're famous for stopping planes.
They should have had, it's like you said, they should have had Rogel Dorn. Like they should have had him like taking a knee and like putting his hand to his forehead, just being like, no, you know what I'm saying?
You know that meme that went around during pandemic times where there were all the Avengers bowing to doctors and nurses down a hallway? They should. Did you ever see that? They should have that. They should have that, and all the Primarchs bowing to Queen Elizabeth as she comes down, and Harambe and that. Yeah.
Dude, and then there's like a golden light, and she's like kind of like it's like behind her. That'd be that'd be so dope.
And the Emperor's like, surely you are only worthy of sitting on the gold, or something like he's like, you know,
I've been saving this gold.
I've been keeping it warm or something.
That's a little morbid. Anyway,
lol, the monarchy should be abolished and should all be shot.
Dude, I heard someone somewhere saying that like the reason that Queen Elizabeth was like white knuckling it so hard against death was that Charles had bumped his gums at some point about wanting to abolish it.
No, he hasn't really. No, it's just no. He won't. Why would he? He benefits 100% from it. Why would he abolish it?
Yeah,
no, absolutely not. No. Unfortunately.
Some wag, now that everybody wants to look at Charles, which for years everybody hated this guy, and he was like persona non grata because of Diana and all this shit. And now everybody wants to take pictures of him and talk about what a great guy he is. Yeah. And somebody like zoomed in on his hands.
They're horrible. The gout hands. Yeah.
Dude, he has like sausage fingers.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gout, isn't it?
What's that about?
Rich diet. Rich. If you're going to eat rich food for 70, 80 years, you know, you can, and you're inbred. I mean, he looks better. The things with Charles is he's not a nonce like his brother, so he's more loved than Andrew. So they're just all horrible, just all horrible. So let's move on from them. The Queen's dead. Ring of Power's on telly, and that's the news. Really, no, we do have a bit of an announcement to make, and I should probably make it. Really.
Oh, so we're definitely going forward with that. We haven't spoken since last week, and so we're definitely where we're headed.
I think so. Unless you're, are you ready to rage against the dying light?
No. This is this is not a submarine. This is there's no two keys. If one person turns the key, then you can fire the nukes. Fire the nukes, dude.
So I'm unfortunately declaring Exterminatus on the podcast. I need a break. I know we've just had a whole hoo-ha with the relaunch and everything, and thank you so much to Chris and Darker Days Radio for taking us on for the last few weeks. But I need a break. I can't keep chatting about the hobby for a while, and also I didn't realize how much being on a podcast means you have to be online. It feels like you almost have a duty to be online and answer and talk and stuff. Yeah, fairly, because we say to ask, we say we want feedback. I can't then complain about can't be asked logging on to Discord to read it kind of thing, you know. So I'm pulling the plug for the moment, which is a shame, but I think we've had a good run. I think it was a solid run. I think this year's been a bit fractious. But the first year, I think we nailed it. We got everything. We got everything right. We were just like bam, bam, bam.
First year was was really good. 2022, man, no hate on needing to step back, because like if there's one thing that I've kind of noticed about 2022 is that it's been just a crazy reordering of everything. Like I think people genuinely thought that like when COVID was over, which it's not,
which still is not,
right, that everything would just go back to normal, and we'd go back to the sandbox, and all of our toys would be right where we left them, and we'd just continue forward with the way everything was. But as it turned out, it was this huge moment of reflection and inflection where we're just having to remake our lives, and the things that were important to us in 2019 and in 2020 are not important to us anymore. So and hey man, dude, I support the shit out of you.
Thank you.
You got to figure out what's right for you. You're a great friend. I've had so much fun doing this.
Good.
I hope that we still talk on a weekly basis
about
how dumb Warhammer is. And an unbelievable waste of money it is.
And maybe we'll take it up again as well, but I can't right now. I'm just really tired at the moment. Like, it's just like, oh man. And actually, tell you what's changed, because COVID is not over, but lockdown is over. I'm like playing more and get outing there more. Whereas I think when we started, this was my coping mechanism in a way for talking about being engaged with the hobby.
Sure.
Whereas now I've got weekly games going. We'll do that in Games Played. I've got weekly games going. I've got stuff on the go. So do you know what I was thinking? Do you know what it was? The thing that tipped it over. I think it was like a news article. Let's say it was whatever, League of Votan. Let's say, whatever's new or whatever.
Oh, so when you mean Warhammer news?
Yeah.
Not
like
actual news. Okay, cool. All right, great.
It was like a league. Yeah, God, if I thought like that, then no. It was like a League of Votan news, say. And I was like, I have no opinion on this. And it crept into my head that I should have an opinion, Like, if I have a podcast about Warhammer, I should have an opinion on stuff. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to start, because that's the slippery slope to terrible YouTube videos with arrows and clickbait titles and stuff.
Dude, I think a couple episodes back, Alex on our Discord really hit us with some strong feedback and was like, do you guys even like Warhammer anymore?
Yeah.
And look, man, I've been thinking about that for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You've been on my mind, Alex. And the answer to that is, I like Games Workshop games, but I am very estranged from mainline Warhammer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel almost no connection to 40K, AOS. Those games, I see the stuff on Warhammer Community, and I'm just, and it's like watching something that's going on very far away. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
For me, it's like watching a sport I don't follow. I look at it, and it'd be like if you gave me American football news, and I'd be like, okay, I'm familiar with American football, but I don't know the ins and outs. So fine, if you say to me, League of Votan are coming and they're a big amalgamation army, okay, I understand that. Here are their stratagems. Oh, mate, that means nothing to me.
I looked at the pictures of the models, and I don't hate them. I know there's a lot of very, hyperbolic opinions about them in both directions.
Yeah.
A lot of people painting them to look like Ninja Turtles and all sorts of stuff, like, very cringe. I think that they're fine. I think that they will. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Tau came out, and here's just a completely different aesthetic that we're going to shoehorn into Warhammer, and I don't think the Tau, I think, have actually rounded out Warhammer and given things a different look. When I play Horus Heresy, which I play Horus Heresy a lot now, and there's no Xenos on the table whatsoever. I actually feel like the game's better for that. Womp womp.
Womp, womp.
So if we assume that 40K is going to be a game that has a lot of different styles and different weird armies and stuff, then great. It's a great addition. No hate.
So that's quite funny, isn't it? Like, because we both started this podcast playing Warhammer 9th Edition. I think we both, at the beginning, collected armies for Warhammer 9th Edition. Sure. You've gone like fuck this, I'm playing Heresy because you fucking love Heresy.
Heresy's
And I've gone, fuck this, I'm playing One Page because I want to play with these toys, but I don't want to keep other things. And I'm starting a campaign with my friend where we're going full Xenos. We're doing Necrons versus Tau. No Imperium involved. So like
you told me that the other day, and I was just like, this was me. Sorry.
I'm bored of seeing Imperial terrain. I want to see something else.
No, see, to me, that's the best part of Warhammer, and I've come to terms with that. That's just where I am now.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just like, the best part is Marines versus Marines fighting in a city, and they're all like
Marine City.
Damn you, Horus! Like, damn you, Guliman! You know what I'm saying? That's the best side to me. I'm just like, that's all I want to do.
Yeah. But it's
that's
funny that we both have span off the main. And like AOS 3, it launched, and we were like, "This is cool. I'm really enjoying this." And then I was like, "Actually, it's still too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
They've added way too much."
Our fixation on AOS 3 lasted like 3 months?
Not long.
The first codexes for it dropped, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you for real?" But you know what? And because you've become all obsessed with One Page. You know what I have become obsessed with very, very recently? Just very recently.
Yeah.
Saga Age of Magic. Like, Saga Age of Magic is scratching my AOS itch so hard right now. To me, it's just like what I kind of thought AOS 3 was going to be. And it's just so fun. You're shaking your head. What's wrong?
I hate Saga. I hate
why?
So, to be fair,
explain why.
Full disclosure. I've not played Age of Magic. I played Saga the original and Saga Crescent and Cross. And oh boy, do I not enjoy rolling dice and then looking at a board and then deciding where, playing fucking Yahtzee, to where I'm going to put my dice on the board. And then incidentally, there's a 3 foot by 3 foot table full of miniatures next to me. Because, you got to put those dice in the right place. And then fucking, it feels, I hate it. It feels like, it's like a historical game. If historical is in, and again, this is not Age of Magic, so maybe I'd feel differently.
Right. I think you might enjoy Age of Magic,
maybe,
but yeah, go ahead.
Historicals, you're looking at historical in 8-point font and game in 48-point font, because it just feels like it does not matter what is on the table. It doesn't matter if these are Saracens, doesn't matter if these Dark Age, whatever. All that matters is what board you've brought with you. And I was just like, this fucking sucks. I've spent money on the miniatures, not the boards. Like, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is to me? It feels like a game. Now, this is controversial, I know, and you probably disagree.
I'm ready. I'm ready for some hot takes, bro. Drop them.
It feels just like a game that runs on stratagems. All you're waiting to do is drop the stratagems. You're rolling the dice to drop the stratagems, and that is just like...
I see what you're saying. What you're saying, but here's the thing, and this is for our listeners who aren't familiar with Saga Age of Magic. Okay, so Saga Age of Magic is this game where it's miniatures agnostic, and you can kind of play what you want. It was developed for historicals, but they have it, and it's and as Rob says, I agree with this 100%. It's very gamey. It's designed to be very kind of like, hey, we're not taking this too seriously. We're playing a historical game, but we're not those guys. We're just like having fun, man. We're just just having a beer and playing a historical game, whatever, dude. Don't harsh our vibe. Anyway, they have a fantasy version, right? And it's still miniatures agnostic, and your powers and stuff come from this thing called a battle board. And at the beginning of your round, you roll these kind of proprietary dice that are easily made by D6s, and then you have to kind of allocate these dice in a little economy, not only to activate your troops to move them around the table, because you can't move them or activate them or shoot or do anything unless you spend one of these dice to do it, but also to activate powers that kind of like emanate off of them. Now, so I see the stratagem analogy. I would say, however, that the way that the game is written intrinsically, where each troop type in the game based on faction is going to be very similar, if not identical, to all the other ones in every other army, right? So really, those things on the battle board are really they're less like stratagems and more like the special abilities that you see on a day sheet,
army special rules,
right?
kind of thing.
Right, exactly. And so to me, it's kind of like, and you have to spend those dice to make them pop, and it solves the problem that we see, I think, in Warhammer. This is a big problem, I think, of the always on special ability that then kind of just wrecking balls its way through a board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's an economy that you have to manage, and you have to sit there and be like, well, what matters in this turn?
Yeah.
And because everybody's stats are basically the same, that means the use of those abilities and your movement, which is very limited in Saga, become what the game is about. It becomes about this economy and about positioning, you know?
Yeah, I think economy is a good way of putting it, because it reminds me of playing like a German Euro game with miniatures. There's a lot of that kind of, and in that way that also I'm probably bored after an hour of allocating dice on a board. like if it was a quick game, I wouldn't mind, but it's not that quick.
It is quick. It's super fast. I was playing 8-point games over this last weekend.
Yeah, it isn't 12.
And, they were done in like 2 hours.
There you go. Be bored after the first, and that's it. That's a small game. 12 points, your standard, isn't it?
In Age of Magic, it's 8.
Oh, it's 8. Okay, but
yeah.
And no hate. Again, there are so many games like Infinity and stuff that War Machine that just are not for me. And there's no point in me fighting for it. I've tried Saga. Yes, I've not tried Age of Magic. Maybe it's the historical thing that actually fecked me off. That I was like, this doesn't feel like it. This feels just like a game. It feels like one of those fucking mobile games where they're like, you're controlling a Roman settlement, and it's just a city builder, and you're like, this could be anything.
Honestly, man, I don't disagree with you 100%. And that's one of the reasons why I like it, because I kind of wanted AOS to be kind of like my new style game of like, it's got new style mechanics. It's not a retro clone of some game from the 90s that like is full of stiff old thinking, is kind of like out of date or whatever, but I still love. And then AOS, I feel like kind of got like weirdly out of hand with like strange powers. I feel like AOS is a little bit too much like a video game for me.
Yeah, whereas, I see that it's the clicking your power at the right time kind of thing. Yeah. I've decided the rule that I don't like, which is now intrinsic apparently with every fucking army, is what really ended me on AOS, when army special rules change turn by turn. Like, you know how like Marines have got their doctrines and Daughters of Cain have got
that.
I'm just like, it was all right when it was like just the Deepkin. Just the Deepkin had it, and that was kind of cool, right? You know, it was like each turn the tide is different. Okay.
Well,
but now everyone's got it.
Didn't Nurgle start with it? Wasn't Maggotkin the first
one? That's true, actually. It was.
They had the big wheel.
The wheel
I thought
that
was cool.
Yeah, again, that's good. And when it was a little thing, and then it was Deepkin, and then it was the Gloomspite, right? Because the moon moved around the board. But then it started just being everything, and then it's like, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to remember. It's turn. I don't know what fucking turn it is. I do not know what the doctrine I'm meant to be. Am I Devastator doctrine? Is it High Tide? I don't know. Like
the thing about AOS and 40K right now, and I know that we have been kind of grumpy and grognardy about those games and salty. But the way that they are designed is that they are designed to be your primary game that you put all of your attention in, and you and your friends play with them. Like, maybe not all the time, like every day, but like once a week, twice a month, so that you can learn all this shit. You need to learn all of it. You don't have to be sitting at home memorizing it with like rivulets of sweat coming down your face, but you should be picking it up by interacting with those other rules a lot. And if you just don't, if you play with your friends and you do like a little mini campaign that lasts X number of weeks, and you're going to play against Deepkin once, you're going to get snaked by all the Deepkin shit that you didn't know was in the book.
Yeah.
and then you won't see it again for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's genuinely why I'm loving one page, because I'm just picking games, having the odd game with people, playing some stuff. We're getting it done. The other night, my friend came round. We got 2 1,000-point games done in an evening. Great fun. Marines versus Necrons. I played Sons of Bahamut versus a Chaos Soup Army against my friend. We hadn't played for months. We picked it up. We were straight back on the table using every rule. There was no like, oh, hang on, I just need to flip through the book and check what this army choice does. It was good. We're just going. So no, it was really cool. And then so I've been playing quite a lot, just not Warhammer. So yeah, the answer is no, I don't like Warhammer anymore.
Yeah,
I like some products of Games Workshop. I don't like Warhammer.
Yeah. I'm building a Skaven army for Saga.
Right, cool.
And if my friends say that they want to play AOS, then I will also have a Skaven army for that.
Yeah. I'm building a Lizardman army for one page
nice.
skirmish, 100%. I'm like, yeah, because it's collectible and I know I'll play with it, as opposed to now I've got to go get the book. Oh, the book's out of date. Now I need to go get the other book. Okay, cool. Now I need to get the cards.
Right. Did I get the cards? Oh, the cards were only a splash release. They were $35, which is why I didn't buy them.
And
now they're $135.
Yeah. And they're optional, but good fucking luck remembering all the special rules if you don't have them. Oh, and also we've errated 4 of them. All right, cool. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, cheers, guys. So no, that's the answer. The answer is, and that's probably why I should really stop the podcast about Warhammer if I'm not engaging with the thing. Still playing MESBG, still playing Warcry and stuff. And Heresy, Heresy's nibbling away. Heresy, my resolve is like the walls of the Eternity Gate. It is crumbling under the onslaught of World Eaters.
I'm sorry to tell you this, dude. This is not going to be good for your resolve, but I think if you pick up Heresy and you play a couple games with it, I think you'll fucking love it. I think you're just going to fucking love it.
I'll probably still play one page with it, to be honest. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, you could. You can do every... I mean, you can do... Hey, once you own the models, you can do whatever you want with them. But
and the books. And the books you need to play with the models.
The first time you...
Because you buy the models, then you need a £40 book, don't you?
You know what, man? I love my Horus Heresy.
No, they are cool. They look great.
I love opening them up and flipping them around. I love standing at the table, flipping pages, trying to figure out where the rules for Terminator armor are. Because you know what? It takes me back to when I was like 24, and that's what I used to do all day. And I love it. Dude, it's like Horus Heresy is that game. All the little things that you learned back in like 2005 about like how to kit out an army, all that shit's still true. Like, oh, should you be spending those points on a hunter-killer missile for your Rhino? Probably not. Every so often it will work, but mostly it won't. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit. That shit was so fun.
It seems like an incredible release. Like, I think they, for the botched releases that they've had, I think Heresy seems to have just knocked it out of the park for them. Like, I think they were running on goodwill for a long time during the pandemic, and then they had to step up, and it seems like Heresy's just exploded. Like, it seemed just the thing, basically.
I'm kind of waiting to see the Heresy tide roll back, because I think that there's like a bunch of kids who got. I know this is old guy versus young guy. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to draw a line in the sand, but I think that like I'm old enough now that I interact with people who have been playing the game for a while, and they have histories with the game, but they've never played. They never played Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and they never played 7th edition Warhammer 40K. They've only known this era of GW. Yeah. And I think a lot of people who are from that school went out and bought Horus Heresy, and they were like, "Oh, it's just it's 40K prequel junior or whatever." They didn't realize it's a completely fucking different game. It's a completely different experience. And I think we're gonna see a lot of people selling armies here in the next 6 months.
You think? Okay, well, that'd be quite good. I'll pick them up. I can see that. Actually, that's a good shout. I suppose there is that's a new hot. It'll same thing will happen with Old World, right? Old World will hit, and people will be like, "Cool, it's like the Total War games," because that's all they know of Old World, and then be like, "Oh, no, it's not." And actually, I don't like this. I don't like these regiments, or I don't like Landsknecks, so I'm gonna just sell it on. I can see that. I think Heresy will last. I think there is enough people that this the splash release, and I think as it continues, people like me who have resisted are like, but I could do some Traitor Blood Angels,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
look pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I
because
I
that was
think I think
yeah,
it'll continue. It'll be a bigger game than Blood Bowl, and Blood
yeah,
Bowl has
well,
continued pace very strong
yeah,
for like 5 years now.
yeah, bit bigger than
Same with
Necromunda.
Necromunda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bit bigger than
it's
Necro.
it's designed to appeal to the people who are into the niche shit like Necro and I don't know, perhaps Warcry.
Yeah,
I can definitely say that a lot of my friends who are like Middle Earth Necro guys also like Horus Heresy.
okay.
So
Yeah,
again, my enthusiasm for Horus Heresy is undiminished. I
great.
buy every release.
That's great.
I buy every new release. I just
Yeah,
have them stacking up in my
yeah,
closet.
but
Every
that's
single thing.
to have that enthusiasm is brilliant. That's absolutely like, yeah, that's what you want out of a hobby. I've got the same with Middle Earth. Still, every time something new is announced in Middle Earth, I'm like, oh shit, I don't need any more Morroning
Oh
Orcs, but I'm
shit!
eyeing up that Osgiliath box. I'm like,
Did you buy
oh
one?
no, not yet.
You gonna get one when it
I
comes out?
don't think so because I don't want the Gondorians. But I don't know. I really like that the book is literally just errata, an FAQ. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I
thank
kind
you.
of want that new book. I want that new book.
Yeah.
And then I want that new Elrond. That new Elrond
Oh
is
my god, it's so good.
yeah.
So good. I love all the new platinum. The new Goth Mog's fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
for real.
yeah,
For real.
really fucking good. Like I am still looking at Middle Earth shit, and I'm just like, this fucking rock. I really hope they don't get fucked with the whole Soul Tovitz, is it? The big amalgamation that's going on. I really hope GW get to keep the rights.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
some real
huge.
strange shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I mean, it could just be they bought all the rights and they're like, fuck it, we'll just keep the deals all the same. So it could do nothing. It's just the
yeah.
fine line goes off to someone else. Or they could be like, no, we're going to hand the miniatures license over to fucking, I don't know, Privateer or something. Who cares?
Well, it's the Asmodee guys have been doing everything with those. Aren't they working with the dudes down in Texas or whatever, the guys that make Marvel Crisis Protocol?
Oh, I don't
Aren't they
know.
the
Yeah.
same? Aren't they the same guys? I don't know. I haven't really been
Tricky.
keeping track. You
Yeah.
know what? You've been getting offline. I've been getting offline too. I'm
Oh,
Instagram free, bro. I'm Facebook free.
yeah.
I'm only on my little Discord, and my little Discord is kind of withering and dying. Like, no, people are not really on there like they used to be. So it's just kind of like, and it's similar. What's going on with you is very similar to what's going on with me, which is like, you know what, man? Like, real life is kind of out there, and if I spend my free time going to IRL game shops and hanging out with my IRL friends, I don't have time to be online all the time.
Yeah.
And constantly postulating about Warhammer because I'm kind of like
100%.
living
Yeah.
it, you know?
I don't need to take photos of my games because I want to put them on Discord to show people. Like literally, yeah. I don't check my Instagram. I don't check my Facebook. I've got them, but they're just sitting. I've not looked at them for over a week now, which I know that sounds like fucking pathetic, but that's pretty. Like I've just been like, right, no more of that, no more Instagram. That's it. So if you want to talk to me, you've got to be my friend already. If not, no, sorry, but you can't contact me anymore.
No new applications will be accepted.
Yeah. At the last moment, I did join a WhatsApp group with the Mech Boys, though. So we're having a game of we're playing Middle Earth on Tuesday, so that'll be fun. Middle Earth Crisis.
That's nice. I never hear from them anymore.
No.
I never hear from them anymore.
No.
I miss
it's all
them.
It's all over. I'll tell them to get in contact. We'll get them on
you
your
know
show.
what? With things just seem to be kind of cooling down my new job a little bit, and I'm hoping to be on Discord more. And if I'm on Discord more, then I'll be able to be back on the Slow Death Discord, and I'll be able to be back on the Dungeon Punks Discord more, which are really like my 3 favorite Discords, including my own anyway. So that would be nice. I mean, I haven't had Instagram in months, and then I just logged off because I don't know my password. I always have to do password recovery
so you just
I'm stupid. Yeah, I just like logged off and closed out all my Facebook tabs, and I haven't been on in weeks.
It's great. It's so good. You realize how pointless it is. You realize so good. Like in my head, I was like, I'm gonna miss out on all the news and all the events, and then you're like, no, you fucking don't. And if you do, it doesn't matter.
I mean that you see that's the point. Is like I do feel like I am missing out on things. I'm like, oh, but what? people will come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, have you heard about this role playing game?" And I'll be like, "No." and then I'm like, "So what?"
Yeah.
Now if I want to learn about it, I can talk to someone about it.
And just shit like I can watch Rings of Power and not have to think I'm gonna have to engage in a conversation, about this or
Dude,
something.
yeah.
It's like, no, it's cool. I'll watch it and I'll like it, or I won't like it, and it's fine. It's just me.
People were writing me. They were like, "Oh, the chuds are up in arms about
Yeah.
Rings of Power," and I was like, "Did Rings of Power come out?"
Yeah, literally. Oh.
I was like, I was playing Saga that weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll check it out when I get home."
Yeah. And it's so nice. It's just that. Like seriously, I know I'm. This is like fucking what they call new age Christian. You're in a Christian newly converts, but it is like people turn off your social media. Fucking hell, you realize you just like no, actually, it's not important. Nothing you ever learn on Twitter is important. Like
Well,
it's no.
look, the promise of what
Yeah.
social media was at
Yeah.
the incept, it was actually that for like a few years. There was a couple years when it was really cool and it was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on with my friend from high school who I haven't seen in forever," right? And then the culture around it changed, and then the algorithms started coming in, and it's not what it was, and that means we can leave it behind. We don't have to do it
It's
anymore.
done. And that was the web. Just as I don't log onto MSN Messenger anymore, it's like just a thing that happened. And at one point everyone was in chat rooms. At one point everyone was on MSN or I can't remember what the American equivalent was. IRL or whatever.
Everybody was on
That's it.
AIM
AIM.
for a while.
There was a point where everyone did that, and at one point everyone had Facebook. No one's got Facebook anymore. And
Right.
we'll just move on. And after 2
Dude,
years,
for real.
2 years of living virtually because you couldn't leave your fucking flat. Now it's just like, now I'm just gonna go and play a game rather than chat about it. It doesn't matter, and it's nice. It's so unfortunately that does mean I do think there's going to be I think a lot of streaming and podcast. I'm not saying that I'm not the vanguard. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. That's for other people to say. But I think a lot of people are going to start.
Vanguard.
Yeah,
It begins here.
Yeah, a lot of people are just going to go. Actually, now I'm not going to present because it was a way of doing something. You were locked in your house, so it was something to do. Whereas
first Rob quits, then Tabletop Tactics is going to quit, then Tabletop Titans is going to quit.
Yeah,
this
maybe I'll bring down Archhammer finally. Everyone's like, all right, fine. Yeah, but just get out and play. It's way better. It is. It makes you way more happier just to actually look at the miniatures and put them on a table and shove them around. That's better than postulating about what the new leagues of Votan should have been or could be or whatever.
It is actually more fun to build your models and paint them and play with them and see your friends than to just have a mind castle that you walk around like you're some lordly person.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So observing the spectral inhabitants of your mind castle, you're like, oh, look, it's Idea Man that I summoned forth with my own thoughts. Ha.
And my opinion girl and stuff. You're just like, no, I just actually get glue on my fingers and so that. What are you painting, Brendan? What is dominating your painting table at the moment?
Well, bro, with my new kind of fixation on real life, my my amount of painting time has just really plummeted. It's been brutal. So I'm just chipping away at these depth guard. I'm really happy with how they're coming out.
Good.
I'm looking at them right now.
I can see them.
I love them so much.
Is that Mortarion at the front?
Mortarion's back there.
Oh well, great.
I don't like. This is a Leviathan. Here's a little Contemptor that I put some brass etchings on him. And I got these little muzzle flares from somewhere and put them on some of these. I just love these toys. They're so great. That's what I've been painting. And then I'm kind of collecting up some Skaven so I can build this Skaven Saga army, because I bought the Echoes of Doom, the Skaven half of Echoes of Doom box it's the Skaven versus Sylvaneth one that came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
I bought the Skaven half of that from my friend when he got it for the Sylvaneth. And so I have it and I'm like, cool, I can just assemble some of these Skavens, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, banging down the
How
table.
about you?
Cool.
What you got?
Actually, quite a lot of historicals at the moment. I'm finishing off my 1918 stuff.
Jesus
I know,
Christ!
right?
Oh my God! What the fuck? Now the truth comes out.
Yeah,
This is
it's
what's
all
really
historicals.
happening. Oh my God!
Orlocks, painting my Orlocks for
Nice,
Necromunda. And actually, no, do you know what the big thing was? Sorting out and just sort of getting everything sorted so I know what I've got. I painted a unit of Cybermen for some Grimdark firefight. I've got some
nice.
unit guys to fight against them. Gonna written a sort of a skirmish scenario for them where the TARDIS is a moving objective because it's just like warping in and out kind of thing.
Nice.
Um, 40k wise, my friend has doubles on the one of the Necron bits from Indomitus, the Walker and the Lord, the Triarch Lord kind of thing. So he's going to give me
Mm-hmm.
them. So going to get them painted up, and that'll be 2,000 points of
Sick.
Necrons. Marine. I'm looking at another 500 points of Marines for one page. That could just be a big dreadnought. To be honest, that's about 500 points once you've equipped it. So that would
What
put
kind
that
of
to
dreadnought? What kind of
the
dreadnought? What are you going to use though as the chassis? Because I know it's just like a
don't know.
scout line, but
I
you
don't know.
haven't
I
decided
don't know.
yet.
I'm gonna have to
Not
have a look.
decided.
I'm so behind on what is a dreadnought and what isn't now. I'm still tempted to get a fucking, third ed lead brick.
Like a box
A box
dreadnought.
dude, yeah. But I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna see which ones take my fancy and or which ones you can get cheapest off eBay. Lord of the Rings, I now have two 750 point armies complete, one for good, one for
Nice.
evil. And I'm waiting to pick up some Warg Riders off Paolo on Tuesday because they are going to be a new battle company because we're going to start playing some battle companies.
Oh,
And
that's sick.
yeah, a
That's
Warg
awesome.
Rider battle company is free Warg Riders and free Wargs, which is what you get in a box. So I'm gonna have them on pins so I can take them on and off kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's that. That's that. Let me have a look. War Master Beastmen I'm cleaning up. But yeah, just getting a lot of stuff done.
Good. Wow. Yeah, it
And
sounds like
then
you're very heavily engaged. It's not.
yeah,
What I hear is not that you've lost interest in Warhammer like at
nope,
all. It's just it sounds like you have way more going on than you have very often when we've
yeah,
chatted.
yeah. I mean, my friends are just starting a Vietnam War campaign as well, so I need to get my Viet Cong.
Vietnam War campaign.
Yes, I need to get my Viet Cong
Man.
together.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
What rule set is that?
There's a 1 hour skirmish, which is nothing to do with one page rules, written by John Lambshead, which is a card driven one. Very simple, very easy, but very adaptable. So we're going to use it for that and you see how it goes.
Wow.
Yeah, and my mate's doing the USMC and I am doing the Viet Cong. So we will see.
Wow.
I'm going to try and do it we've made very much a point to not Hollywoodize it. Like we're not going to do fucking Ride of the Valkyries stuff, and like we're gonna
Sure.
try and actually dig in and be like, right, what would a firefight be like? And even if a firefight would be the Americans get their heads in the dirt and call them fire support, then that's the firefight, kind of thing. And it's up to so we don't want to do it. I don't want to do Rambo Vietnam, I want
Right.
to do
Yeah. Be kind of
if
an
you
interesting skills or rule set to build that, like how that would work,
yeah.
like what you would want it
I
to
want
look
to
like.
avoid things like national character. What I hate in historical games is national characteristics when they're like, all Frenchmen are cowards, but do this, and all British people are good shots. I hate that, because an 18-year-old college kid in America, like who's handed an M16, or how do you rate them against an 18-year-old Viet Cong kid who's been handed an AK-47?
Right.
At the end of the day, it's the saga thing. A
It
man with a
is.
spear is a man with a spear.
Yeah.
Yes, some might be stronger, some might be smaller, but to say, oh, all Anglo, Saxons were strong and all Vikings were quick is bullshit.
Right.
And
Right.
I do think historicals works on that when you sort of level it down to this is a person with a rapid firing rifle. Okay,
Right. Well, I mean,
what do we
because on
do?
some level, what you're kind of talking about is like a more simulationist view of like how to do war, which is
Yeah,
that like outside of modern warfare where you're talking about like armor and stuff
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
like where there are vast technological differences,
Mm-hmm.
like you're the quote unquote stats of the models are going to be very similar. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And contemporary military tactics
yeah,
rely much more on like positioning
yeah,
and claiming objectives than they do on just like on really Warhammer style tactics, which is like
yeah.
I'm going to
Nonsense.
walk forward and make all
Yeah,
my armor saves, and then I'm
yeah,
going to just kill everything. Like no one like that. That's not actual
war.
war. Like that's not how people fight wars.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they did in like the Punic Wars, and they were like, "Oh, just run the elephant forward towards those guys with the shields. Just do it." Like, but that was like what 2,000, 2,500 years ago. Like
before rapid firing, missile weaponry. That's the
exactly. There were those guys. They made this game. It was like kind of ultra modern sci-fi warfare. It was called Kill Wager, and I think that part of their model is that like you can get all their STLs for real cheap, and you can print up the STLs. But I wanted the physical ones. First of all, I don't have a fucking 3D printer, but also like I'm just like, send me the physical models.
I'm the same. I'm 100% the same.
Why can't I buy it? Like one of those guys, And what was interesting about their game is the game feels very dark and brutal, but apparently the guys that wrote it are actually like lefty style, like ex-military vet guys, right? And their game actually has a section in it which is war crimes, where it's like after you've finished the mission, based on the things that your soldiers did, like you go through a war crimes phase.
Holy shit.
And that will penalize your guys in the next game.
Holy, so you can't just go like guns blazing and shit.
Right.
Holy shit.
Because part of the game is like, you have operators that are dropping into a facility and people are trying to get like their nuclear technicians out.
Right.
So you've got to like, you're trying to shoot the car, but then if you hit the nuclear technicians on the inside,
it's civilian casualties kind of
war
thing.
crimes.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
that sounds terrible to play. I don't mean terrible in a bad idea way, but a really stressful game to play kind of thing. Because you'd be like, dude, oh shit,
Look up the battle reports on it. I've watched some battle reports of it, and the game actually is very cool at being kind of nauseating.
Well, that's how it should be. To go back to Vietnam, if you have to make that decision as the American commander to firebomb that village or not, you've got to make that call, and then, you rate that. You say, well, was that the right call? Was there a Viet Cong cache there? Or was it just a school, And you're like, oh, fuck. You're just like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, like war is actually fucking horrifying. And to create a game mechanic that actually makes you feel a little bit queasy about what your character on the board just did. Like,
spot on design. Speaking of war crimes, I've forgotten about my new big project that I completely forgot to tell you about.
War crimes? Your new project is
sort of the Terminator miniatures game.
Right, you're super into this, aren't you?
It's fucking brilliant. Like the rule set are so good.
Really?
Tell
I know more.
Well, it works, and it just is so themey. Like we were playing, like, come on, how good's the bit in Terminator 1 and 2 where you see the future war and everyone's like running around, blasting each other?
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
everybody loves that shit.
This literally plays like that. Like you've got your fucking resistance guys whose guns are just bouncing off the exoskeletons, but then like 4 of them will concentrate fire, blow the legs off it, and this thing comes crawling towards you, and you're just 100% like they will not stop. Like it's just really fucking good. Like
really,
as a rule set, it's spot on. Just shit like it's a science fiction war game, right? So there's no ranges. It's fine. You can shoot anyone on the board you can see. Yes, you get bonuses if they're closer, but and the rules are stuff like if they are within a certain amount of range, you hit on a 4+. Everyone, no matter who you are, you hit on a 4+. What changes is the die you roll. So the higher training, the higher die you roll. So you're always say hitting on 3+ in close combat, 4+ at point blank, 5+ at short, and then 6+, at any distance on the table. But if you're rolling a D12 compared to a D10, you got better odds, and that's it. That's all you got to worry about. So the stat lines are like 3 things. It's got a really good system for if you're hit but not killed. You might get stunned or something, and it just works really well. You just put an action token down on you, so at the end of the turn you remove 1 action token. So if you just keep getting hit, you're going to be pinned for ages, and that's how the resistance fight the machines. They're probably not going to knock them out in 1, but they're going to fucking fire at them and keep them down, kind of thing. It plays like literally we played, me and my friend who is not a miniature war gamer, he's a board gamer, but he picked up a copy of it for like £2 from a charity shop. And we played a scenario where he had his resistance, and I just had this line of machines just coming forward, and it was that. Like they were just advancing, fire, fire, fire. Then occasionally, like they put enough down, and then you can move up and do a killing thing. But every time a resistance fighter did a killing blow on one, like they were then immediately vaporized by the other machines. So there was like all those suicidal attacks and stuff.
But does it feel like it has replay value? I mean, or is it you're just gonna play the same thing?
No, because it's got loads. It's got vehicles. It's got different machines, different style things. It's got infiltration scenarios. So you play scenarios where there's one machine and it's got a map where it's like the base, and some of the resistance have got dogs and shit. It's got a lot of narrative
that's
shit.
Great.
Yeah,
that's great.
And then
I love
there's
the dogs. They work that in. That's cool.
Yeah. And then there's 1984 scenarios where you can blow up, you can shoot up the police station and shit. So there's rules for like 1984. I'm not gonna say no to that. Yeah, and then there's the Future Wars stuff, and because the rules are so simple, folding in other shit is dead easy. Like I've got a friend who she's got loads of xenomorphs, and Terminator versus xenomorphs. Everyone wants to see it. So
well, I don't know about everyone.
No, I know. But you know what I mean? Like, remember the 80s where everyone wanted RoboCop and Xenomorphs and Predator and Alien all together?
I didn't want it. Even back then, I didn't want it. The Aliens versus Predator thing has always worked pretty seamlessly, but when they started trying to mash up other
RoboCop,
things,
yeah.
RoboCop versus Terminator,
Judge Dredd, yeah. But
come on,
you could definitely. Well, because behind the scenes, the rule set was written for Star Wars, but River Horse didn't get the license, so we switched to Terminator. And you can see that because it's fast combat, shooting at each other kind of thing.
And aren't these like these are like parry sculpts?
Where they fucking suck. They're awful.
They were just like, we were never doing this again kind of shit.
They were checking out. Yeah.
So you should just get the book and then
get the book. There's really good War Games Atlantic do a set called Cannon Fodder. And the Cannon Fodder guys with caps look just like the guys from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
They are spawn.
War Games Atlantic is great. They have such a great range at this point. Like, just top notch.
Exoskeletons, endoskeletons even. Actually, to be fair, I don't mind the ones from the box. They're better than the Resistance. But yeah, it's the type of game. Get the book, and River Horse have put it free online as a PDF. So if you want the main rulebook, download it as a free PDF. If not, I picked up a copy for £10 off eBay. And then you will be able to like pick and choose bits off other model kits, other ranges. There's some nice model kits from the 90s that fit perfectly in scale because it's like a flying hunter killer. Well, it doesn't matter how big that is because it's in the sky. So, you can use that in a game kind of shit. Flatbed trucks and stuff for the Resistance. You've got the Mars Attacks miniatures. You've got the Walking Dead miniatures. So you can hassle-free, you crooked dice. You really can.
There's probably somebody that prints stuff too.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%. There's 3D printing. So I really, even if you don't use Terminator for it, it's just a really good fucking rule set.
Right.
Really,
it sounds like you could make it miniatures agnostic 100%. Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Just make it like science fiction space fight.
Science fiction fight, But it's just those bits where the Resistance were putting it by and you blow one down and then it comes back and it's crawling. You're just like, yes, that's 100% the fucking Terminator.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
That was cool. But yes, that's it. That's the thing now. Playing miniatures, listening to the books. I'm going through Echoes of Eternity, which is really fucking good. I would say it's the penultimate heresy.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But yeah, it makes me want to collect 2 Legions in the Heresy in particular.
I am glad that in our last conversation you were talking about the Perpetuals.
Yes.
Because then the Perpetuals were kind of on my radar. And then I'm listening to No Fear and Perpetuals. And I'm realizing now that Dan Abnett in particular has been seeding Perpetuals. And because we meet... spoiler alert, if you're going to listen to fucking No Fear and you don't want to hear about it, and turn it off. Anyway, so one of my favorite characters from the Horus Heresy, John Grammaticus, shows back up in No Fear. And he's like the first Perpetual that we kind of meet, to my knowledge, in Legion, the mechanic, not the mechanical.
That's where it starts. Yeah, that's where it starts. All this stuff,
And he's a Perpetual that has been... He's not from fucking like ancient Greece or anything, but in No Fear, he's interacting with a different Perpetual named Olandrius, I think. And he's like, hey, Olandrius, you need to fucking, because Olandrius is on Calth, when the fucking word bearers go ham. And he's like, yo, Elandrius, you need to stop pretending like you're a human and you need to like go out there and do some shit. So that's kind of where I'm at No Fear right now.
Okay.
By the way,
yeah,
No Fear is one of the best fucking science fiction books that you can fucking read. It is so fucking good. It is not only, I mean, dude, if ever you were like listening to Horus Heresy novels and you're thinking to yourself, why am I putting in all this time? These books are very uneven. Some of them are boring. Some of them are dumb. Some of them are dumb and boring. No Fear has so much payoff. It is just it. Have you listened to it? Have you read it?
No. I barely touched the Heresy. I haven't listened to the first Heretic yet. Never mind that.
Dude. No Fear. Like I don't think you can start there. I could give somebody a list of the highlights that you definitely should listen to before you listen to No Fear.
Yeah.
But that book is off the chain. Like you can just tell like there's so much stuff going on in it.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Dan Abnett must have like read like a bunch of kind of like Pearl Harbor history books.
Right.
Before he did it, because it's written in this way where it's like there's these time signatures.
Right. It's like Tora or something, and you're like waiting for it to tick down, kind of thing.
And yeah, dude, exactly. There's the countdown clock.
Yeah.
And then there's the clock into the butchery.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it is something else.
Yeah.
It is peak fucking Warhammer. Oh my god, I love it.
They use a very similar thing in the Siege of Terror, the early books, where they mark chapters by how many kilometers to the wall they are. Yes. So it would be like 12,000 kilometers to the wall. If you like John Grammaticus and you like Alonius Pius, you will really like the Siege of Terror books.
I can't wait because dude, I'm pretty sure I said on this podcast when I was listening to Legion, I was like, my favorite character, my new favorite character is John Grammaticus.
Yeah,
he's such a fucking cool character, and now he's back.
He's back a lot in Siege as well. So can I tell you I don't know if it's spoilerish, but my theory.
Ooh.
And this is what I don't want to happen.
John Grammaticus is Jesus.
No, he obviously is, but no. The other guy, Oleanus Pius, I think he's going to be the guy that runs into the throne room that distracts the Horus.
It seems very obvious to me that he is.
Yeah, and I really don't want that. I do not want that. You know, going back to episode 2 of this podcast, that is not what I want to happen. And sadly, Abnett is right in the final 2 books, because I would say that Echoes of Eternity is the penultimate book. It's not, because they've split. They've done a Twilight, and the last book is now 2 books. Hey,
is it 2 books? We don't know. We know there's more than one book.
Better be 2.
I saw that because they're like, oh, check out the cover of the final book, and it's like Death and the End, Volume 1. Like, oh my god, you sons of bitches!
Yeah, because that's got to be the Inner Palace, right? And then the second book will be the On Board the Vengeful Spirit.
Will it? Who knows? Maybe it'll be 3 books. Maybe it'll be like a series within a series within a series.
Yeah, and there's all the webway stuff. But yeah,
maybe there'll be a book that's all just about the sword battle between Horus and it'll be called
400 pages of clang.
It'll be called the Duel.
Swords,
Volume 1.
Swords are just penis metaphors. It's called. But yeah, Echoes of Eternity, really enjoying. It is a real step up in the Siege of Terror. The Siege of Terror I've actually really enjoyed it. There's been a couple of bits where I've gone boring, but nothing. I would say not one of them's bad. You know, there is the worst of them is Functionary, so it's not like. But Echoes of Eternity makes the Blood Angels fucking cool. Like, makes me want to collect Traitor Blood Angels who have taken all their gone back to Revenants and stuff.
Bro, but you gotta listen to Heresy now. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to I know that you skipped to the end because you're like, whatever, who cares? Like my buddy Alexander, he's always saying the same thing to me. He's always trying to roast me for listening to the Heresy novels. He's like, well, we know the story. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, sure. That's like saying like the Death Star blows up at the end of episode fucking 6. I know Star Wars.
Yeah.
it's like yeah, but there's like a bunch of cool shit that happens on the way there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And,
I'm watching the Rings of Power. I know how it ends.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the journey is the point. Anyway, once I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna be thirsty, and you're gonna be like,
I've got some
the
ready
only
to
thing
go.
that will quench you
Yeah.
is more heresy.
I've got The Betrayer to read. I've got The First Heretic and stuff. I've got some to go, kind of thing. I'm not going to read them all. No way.
Don't read them all.
I made that mistake with The Outcast Dead.
Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool like me.
Yeah,
Listen to
no,
them all.
I will just I'll pick and choose. Probably focusing on the legions that I care about. But
I'll give you my list.
Yeah,
I'll give you my list of
do.
ranked books, and you can choose based on my.
I've read. I can tell you right now. I've read the trilogy. Read the initial trilogy.
Great.
Well, the first two are good. I've read Flight of the Eisenstein.
Sure.
I've read Legion. I
love that one.
The one we always joke about, the Battle of Calth one. That's just dog shit.
Oh, the Abyss.
The Abyss. Battle of the Abyss. Read that.
Battle for the Abyss. Terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Worthless.
Read The Outcast Dead.
I have some fondness for that.
We discussed that, and I think that is it. I think that's what I've read of the Heresy.
You're missing out on Fulgrim. You listened
to
Mechanicum.
Listen to Mechanicum. Very boring.
And you did not like it. You didn't get out of it what I got out of it. That's fair.
Mechanicum. Good. Yes. Good call.
But I feel like if you put in Fulgrim and 1,000 Suns and Burning of Prospero, you'd have hit the highlights there and missed out on all the.
That sounds good.
Like Nemesis is just so stupid. It just like bludgeons your brain in the same way as Battle for the Abyss.
Yeah. Oh, we should wrap up at some point about this. But you have read Night Lords Volume 1. Right?
Oh, I did. Yeah, that was
good,
great.
Isn't it? Yes, really
that was great. That was just such a good book, and it really kind of redeemed ADB in my mind because I've been very on the fence.
You've been down, yeah.
I've been kind. It's kind of like I'm like, why I don't understand what people get out of this guy. And with Battle for the Abyss, I was like, okay, I get it. This is really good.
Night Lords. It did
have some cringe. Oh, sorry. Night Lords 1.
Yeah.
Night Lords 1. Yeah. It did have some cringe stuff in it. It did have some very kind of ADB moments where it's like, oh, I'm so badass.
Yeah.
ADB, look, man, ADB would be an awesome script writer for professional wrestling. His novels are basically professional wrestling novels. You know
what you gonna do when Korax runs wild over you, brother?
No, seriously, he writes these very kind of hyper masculine stories of like hyper masculine exploits. That's fine. Abnett is an incredibly gifted science fiction writer who is writing a cartoon, and so he is able to elevate the material with his just unbelievable science fiction insight. That guy has chops. That guy has such chops.
Yeah.
But that being said, Night Lords 1 was
really good.
Awesome listen. Listen.
It just makes Chaos Marines you want to hang out with them. You don't, but you want to listen to them, kind of thing. Like, and as I say, I really think you will like Black Legion. I genuinely think you will really enjoy Black Legion.
What I kind of want to do at some point is listen to a loyalist novel, right? Because I've listened to a couple of the 9th edition ones. And I wasn't that taken with them. Mostly to an 8th edition one and a 9th edition one. But I really want to listen to one that is just about some loyalist Marines doing some loyalist Marine shit and see if it makes me as interested in those legions as the Chaos novels make me.
Okay, can I recommend one? I don't know if you listened to it already.
Please do.
Spears of the Emperor by ADB. It's about a chapter he invented, which are really cool. They're just stuck out in the fucking arse end of the Imperium. And I would recommend that. That's the best book about Space Marines that isn't called Space Marine by Ian Watson, which is the greatest 40k book ever written.
All right.
Yeah.
What kind of strikes me is that the Chaos Marine novels, because I've listened to a whole fuck ton of them from various different chapters, and I love them all.
Yeah.
Is that they are essentially kind of like Horus Heresy post books, because Chaos Marines as characters are obsessed with the Horus Heresy, and they're obsessed with the 10,000 years subsequent to the Horus Heresy, and their actions in the present is framed as being 10,000.
Sorry, that sounded very passionate, but your mic cut out.
It did?
Oh my god, yeah.
How is it now?
Now I can hear you. You got too passionate.
Oh, sorry, I got too passionate. The point I was trying to make is that
post-heresy,
post-heresy novels, the Chaos Marines are obsessed with what happened in the heresy, and they're obsessed with what they consider to be their failures subsequent to the heresy. And whenever they're talking about their contemporary, what's happening on with them in the contemporary times, it is in the shadow of their failures. And they are just completely, they're almost sort of nonplussed by what they're doing right now. They're like, they have this whole kind of like, are we still doing this? Is this really still a thing? Kind of vibe. And I kind of want to see how that translates to the Loyalist chapters. Like, do they give us that insight, you know?
I Black Legion gives you that in spades, 100%. You know, you've got these Marines who are like, I fought with Horus, and now, you know, and now I'm stuck with 20 lads on a boat. You know, it's just like, what the absolute fuck?
maybe there's just says something about the people who play Chaos Marines is that we relate more to the complexity of a loser, right?
Just like, fuck's sake.
The idea of listening to a novel where it's a bunch of guys who are like, we've been big winning for 10,000 years and this is it, man. Like, it just doesn't sound nearly as fun or interesting.
It's like being a Cleveland Browns fan instead of a Patriots fan.
It's 100%.
I don't know. I hope I got that right.
Totally got that right.
You know, it's the D&D thing, isn't it? What are better books, Dragonlance books or the Legends of Drizzt books? The Legends of Drizzt books are way more interesting. I'm not saying they're brilliant, but they're more interesting than Dragonlance, because Dragonlance is just a load of good guys being good. Whereas at least in Drizzt, you get to have a little bit of fucking complexity and moral grayness. You know, I'm not elevating them as high literature. Why does everyone want to know the story of Boba Fett? Because he's more interesting than Luke Skywalker. You know, it's that there's always that kind of but there's a bit more interest rather than, yes, we're winning, so if we're winning, we're just going to keep doing the same thing for 10,000 years. All right, cool, cheers, great.
Yeah, for real, cool. For real. There's that scene in Night Lords 1 when there's like some humans that are essentially like slaves to the Night Lords, and they're like sitting in a Thunderhawk hangar bay inside the capital ship, and it's just rows and rows of Thunderhawks like covered in dust. And like all the servitors have died. And there's not even the Marines to use the Thunderhawks.
They've got the weaponry. There's just no one left.
They're like sitting in like this museum of failure, and I was just like, this is awesome. This is what Warhammer is about. You know,
this is why, you know, I always go on about this. I think a Chaos Space Marine army should be 5 Marines and then fuck tons of idiots. You know, just like it should be 5 guys who are like, we've been fighting for so fucking long now. Like, I'm so tired.
I was thinking of that when I was listening to the book, because Night Lords really brings that home. That like, oh, here's an entire fucking company of Space Marines. It's 50 guys. It's actually 39 because 5 of them were disintegrated in the drop assault.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And John's just turned to gibbering mush because he prayed to the wrong god or something. He does that for fuck's sake.
That's cool.
I think there's a lot you can do with it. I think on that, we should bring the Realm of Fire to a close. I think we fire the virus bombs. We launch. What's your favorite type of exterminatus? Is it virus bombing, or is it just like flattening with? But I like the idea of doing a system and just detonating the sun and just taking out an entire system.
That one's always reached me a little bit too much of kind of like sci-fi hoo-ha, like oh, they're blowing up the sun. Like, how long would that take? Like 10 million years? I mean, like,
that's true.
Like, to me, I'm always like, oh, like this is so dope. They're like, oh,
just virus bombing,
man. We're putting
you're gassing planets, Just no, that's fair. I think the best exterminatus is just drop Angron on it. That'll do.
Or just leave.
Just leave.
Run out of food.
That would suck. Just turn the Astronomicon off.
See you, dude.
Good. Well, that's the end of Realm of Fire. We did it. I
Yeah.
don't know what we did, but
Hey,
we did it. Hey,
we did it. We
we
did it,
did
which
it.
is more. Hey, we have like 25, 30 episodes or something, which
Yeah.
is like literally something like 100 times more than most podcasts get.
Yeah. We outlasted the fucking Queen as well. We're still going.
Yeah.
We're
Now we
still
can
going.
quit.
Yeah.
We
Now
were
we can
just
quit.
doing it to piss her off.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, her takes on the Tau.
Terrible.
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 That's it. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Yeah, no shit.
It's been, to quote an American, a blast. It's been a
Mm-hmm.
blast, and we could even say it's been a ride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To quote, "It's just a ride. It's just a ride." I can't remember who sang that.
Never heard of it.
Song for the 90s.
Never even heard of it.
But good. So thanks to everyone. Jesus, that was a big one. Halle
Yep.
Berry.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
the guy who wrote Battle for the Abyss, because we've got a lot of
Oh my
material from
God.
that.
Yeah,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
For real. High
Yeah.
five to that dude. Because
Yeah.
Jesus,
Fuck.
Jesus, we've been dunking on him for like 2 years now. And
Yeah.
and really at the end of the day, he's probably just some guy who they're like, hey, we need a novel by the end of next week. Do you think you could do it? And he would just boiled some coffee and was like, it's on. So
It's on. Yeah, fuck it, that'll do. And it's also got the two worst legions in it, so you're not onto anything good there. Ultramarines and word bearers fucking suck. They suck.
Kind of like word bearers, but
no, they suck. I would say evil Catholics, but I think that's just Catholics. Right, I think on that bit of sectarian hate, would be a good place.
And I'm gonna say goodbye to anyone from Full Metal RPG who's followed me over here. This is the end of 7 years of Brendan podcasting. Starting in 2 minutes from now, I will be on no podcast for the first time in 7 years. So
holy shit.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a moment for me to be kind of like, well, here I am. I'm embracing real life. There'll be no forthcoming Brendan podcasts. Maybe in the future, I'm leaving myself open to it, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So
maybe there'll be another virus.
Thanks to everybody for fucking like listening to my fucking asshat takes for fucking 7 years. Jesus Christ, about a wide variety of issues from American politics to role-playing games to tiny soldiers. I guess really just that. But yeah, seriously, thanks to everyone for showing up, man. It's been super fun. What can I fucking say? It's been the best thing I've ever done is being on podcasts. So thanks.
Man, now I feel bad for virus bombing the podcast, but
no.
Yeah, good. Okay, go outside.
Time,
just go outside for a bit.
Dude, go outside. Go. You know what you should do? Go down to your local game store and find the coolest person there and then say, we don't have to be here anymore, and then go play Warhammer at your house.
Yeah, and here's some good rules. Let's play with some good rules. Yeah, no, that's it. It's over. I felt like I had something very important to say, but it's gone out of my head.
Sorry, I was going on too long.
No, it's fine. No, that's good. It's very heartfelt, and that's the end. Go listen to other people. I don't know. Middle Earth Crisis. I think they're still going.
Middle Earth Crisis. That's a good podcast.
Yeah,
I've heard
listen to them. But yeah, we're
Darker
out.
Days Radio. That's a good. Whole family of podcasts there.
Stay on Darker Days. I think they've just done one about corn. I know. If you want to talk to me about any of this shit now the podcast's over, you can't. Fuck you. Unless you are my friend already. I'm out. You'll notice the Instagram died a few weeks back without ceremony because I just couldn't be bothered logging in anymore. So that's it. If you've got any opinions about 40k, chat with your friends about them. They don't need to go online. It's fine.
Yeah,
just talk to your friends about them.
Yeah. Or you could do like my friend Ben Heiligman did in the freshman year of college, 1997, and you can meet your friends under a tree. You can say, guys, I think we should all start Warhammer armies.
Brilliant. Yeah. Get it going. Get 5 people together. Fuck 5e D&D. If anyone says to you, let's play D&D, say, no, let's play 40k instead. Let's just do this. But don't play 40k, as previously mentioned. Good. I'll see you all soon. God Save the King and all that. Got to learn a new song now. Unbelievable. Got to change all the words. Got to change everything.
Wow.
And they've changed the pronouns. Classic 21st century royal family. One minute it's his, her, now it's he, him. Oh God, it's so difficult. Yeah.
Oh God.
But no, absolutely no hate. Death to Nazis. Everyone should always be involved in good people. Trans rights are human rights. and all that pro-choice, all good stuff, pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah,
For real.
that's it. All right, we're going to sign out.
Yeah.
Do you want to have what's your favorite 40k quote of the day? You could finish on that. Or you not go on to hand.
I don't even have a favorite.
Okay. B. What is it? But now I'm not going to finish one. Only in death does duty end. Well done, everyone.
Or delivery to your local shop is free.
It is. It's really useful. It's a very useful thing. Ace. Right. Let's finish on that.
All right.
See you later.
I'll see you all out there, everybody. Good night.
Good luck.